Hey guys, hit my next Xenolar here, and I finally had my caffeine, so if I sound awake and lively, that's why. And for this video, I wanted to do a quick rant, and this rant is on people that hate blue, and I actually have another real-life example, surprisingly, at my city. So, here's the story, basically. So, you're also probably wondering why you're staring at this abomination of a card. I'll explain that later. So, I was playing my Grixis control deck one day in lunch, and my friend, we're gonna call him Jerry, which I just realized I know a friend named Jerry. So Jerry, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, bro. So I was playing my Grixis control deck, and he lost. Now, the reason why he lost is because of another card, which basically screwed him over badly. And he yelled at me. He's like, I hate blue. I'm not going to play against your Grixis control deck anymore. Because all you do is just blow up all my creatures and counter all my stuff. And it doesn't let me play magic. When in reality, I have 3 counter fluxes and a mana leak in the deck right now. I believe. Or no, I have a disallow, 3 counter fluxes. Not a mana leak. Why did I think mana leak? But anyways, he was like, blue's so overpowered. Like every other magic player out there. And I gave the response of every player that plays blue ever and said, Stormcrow, look it up. And he didn't look it up, so I had to show him, and he didn't look actually, but I showed our friend who was also playing, and he was dying laughing. He's like, Jared, you gotta see this is actually really funny. He's like, no, it's probably another overpowered blue card. And, well, he didn't know it was just a 1/2 for 2 with flying. Just the most complete BS thing ever, and I was just laughing that Jerry wouldn't pay attention to it. Anyways, so we went back to class, which was just I don't know what you would want to call it. I call it study hall, which is what it's called in the schedule, but basically it's do whatever the hell you want. Just don't bug the teacher. And so we went back there, and I'm like, well, dude, you know what? I'll just come in with another deck, not a control deck, maybe a control deck, and I'll just beat you at that. He's like, oh no, whatever, just don't use blue. Like, okay. So, long story short, with another friend, Bobby, made up with him, he said I should play mono white control in standard. I about died when he gave me the idea. Like, I'm actually considering doing it, just playing mono white control in standard. So, another issue that this Jerry had with me was, oh, you have a bunch of proxies in your deck. No. I have 1 proxy of Snapcaster Mage in the deck. 1 proxy of Snapcaster. And I can't afford that Snapcaster right now because I spent a fortune on my Tameo deck, which, by the way, you should check that out. That was my previous video. Anyways, I'm like, you have proxies in your Abzan deck. What's the huge deal? And I'm like, sorry that I know your deck from the inside out, because I'm sorry, bro, but you play the same deck and you don't change any of the cards. You don't have a sideboard like I do. I can just sideboard in a random card and you just won't know the difference. Like, what the heck, dude? Of course I'm gonna beat you if I know your deck from the inside out. And then he's like, whatever, man, you play blue, you're a horrible player. I'm like, you play blue in your other deck. You're freaking green-blue, he calls it green-blue Kiora. I'm like, you freaking use blue? He's like, I don't use counter spells. I'm like, is negate a creature now or something? Because you run 4 negates in that deck, dude. And he didn't have a response to that at all. Like, he just went off on me more, and I just ignored him. And our other friend, I don't have a catchy, weird name for him, so we're just gonna refer to him as other friend. He was just laughing the whole time at the fact of this kid's face. Like, I kid you not, like, his face turned red. Like, not Chandra red, but like, if this kid's face got any more red, it would have turned purple. And it was just hilarious, honestly. I wanted to laugh too a bit, but this kid really was just punching me in the face, and actually I probably should have let him punch me in the face. He would have gotten suspended, and I wouldn't have to argue with him anymore, but man, whatevs. But anyways, he got really upset because of 1 card, not multiple cards. Like, not like, I didn't play like Counterspell or anything, because the deck's modern right now. I want to turn into Legacy. I didn't play anything like, I don't know any really huge blue cards, I'll be honest. I'm not really a huge fan of blue, but I didn't play something like Jace the Mind Sculptor, Jace Memory Adapt. I didn't play anything like Chalice of the Void to screw him over, which would really screw him over, because a lot of his cards are like 3-drop, 4-drop cards, so that would annoy him. But this is what I used to end his life. And I don't know any Grixis Control deck that uses this card, but this is what I use to end his life. Here it is, right here. This is the exact card, a Nicol Bolas Planeswalker from this exact set. My goodness. Okay, I just have to laugh a little bit. Like, I've been holding it in so much. Okay, I'm sorry, because this kid complained because I used Bolas's ult, and he had 8 permanents. He didn't get rid of his creature, which was a huge mistake. And I believe he had Ishkanah down or something like that. So I'm like, alright, that Ishkanah, that's mine. And he just got really upset because then he just didn't want to do anything. Like, he just sat there and pouted the whole time. Like, I couldn't tell he just wanted to flip the table. And I'm surprised he didn't, honestly, because he seems like one of the people that would just flip the table at an LGS or something like that. But he got upset because I used Nicol Bolas on him and not our other friend, because, well, our other friend wasn't much of a threat. Like, he was just making me get rid of my lands and drawing cards and killing himself. He's basically doing my job for me with his Obnixil's dual deck. And I'm like, okay, just do my job for me. I'm going to go after the other kid instead. Because, you know, I know his deck from the inside out. And he just went off on me, like, the rest of the study hall about how blue is just horrible and how, you know, he never wants to play against any of my decks with blue in it. And the sad thing is that I have very few decks that don't run blue. My Nissa Freyalise deck is A, actually, I'm pretty sure. But, like I said, you know, okay, I'm just going to build a control deck in Standard, so I'm thinking, you know, again, mono white, mono black control maybe in Standard, maybe black white control in Standard, red white control. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to find like a Standard deck and just play it and just beat the hell out of his deck, because his deck, Jerry's, is Obzon mid-range kind of thing. It's basically a complete, like, clusterfrick, to be honest. Yes, it's like clusterfrick, not the actual thing. I have people around that don't need to hear the actual thing. So I'm sorry if I disappointed any of you guys. But, like, it's almost like a Super Friends deck, because it's just, he relies too much on his Planeswalkers and on, like, certain cards to win, whereas my Grixis deck is, like, my win conditions are Nicol Bolas, Liliana's, like, of the Veil and Last Hope are, like, my win conditions, basically, and just overall burning you out with Chandra. That's, like, I have multiple ways to win with that deck, and his way to win, like, he has so many ways to win in his deck, but he only likes to win in one way, and it's play defensively, ramp his creatures, and swing. When my Grixis deck is just like, oh, you're ramping your creatures. Let me help you not ramp your creatures. And he still hasn't realized it, or he just doesn't care. Like with my Tamiyo deck, the reason why I win is 2 ways. I can just hit you out Tamiyo or play aggressively. But he doesn't care about the getting burned out or the aggressiveness. The only thing he cares about is the fact that they have blue in them. Which, again, shall I remind him and everyone else of the abomination that hopefully will pop up on the screen. It won't pop up, but is Stormcrow. Stormcrow. Next time someone says blue is overpowered, just say Stormcrow. There it is, popping up. Anyways, to end this rant, Jerry, if you're watching this, bro, me and Bobby are going to figure out your birthday, and we're going to take a package full of Stormcrows from our LGS, and we're going to mail them to your house. Just saying. Okay, we're probably not actually going to go through with that, but okay, I actually might go through with that. Anyways, to everyone who hates blue, Stormcrow, that's the end of the video. Peace out, everybody.